Welcome to this video on expressions, equations, and inequalities. In this unit, students will formulate and solve linear equations and inequalities that represent real-world situations. Here are the essential vocabulary terms that will be introduced in the unit: equations, equivalent expressions, inequalities, and like terms. In this unit, students will be representing situations with diagrams and equations. There are two main categories of situations with associated diagrams and equations. Here is an example of the first type. A standard deck of playing cards has 4 suits. In each suit, there are 3 face cards and X other cards. There are 52 total cards in the deck. An associated equation could be 52 equals 4 times the quantity of 3 plus X. There are 4 groups of cards. Each group contains X plus 3 cards, and there are 52 cards in all. Here's an example of the second type. A chef makes 52 pints of spaghetti sauce. She reserves 3 pints to take home to her family and divides the remaining sauce equally into 4 containers. A diagram we might use to represent this situation is this. An associated equation could be 52 equals 4x plus 3. From the 52 pints of sauce, 3 were set aside, and each of the 4 containers holds x pints of sauce. Students will be studying efficient methods to solve equations and working to understand why these methods work. Sometimes to solve an equation, we can just think of a number that would make the equation true. For more complicated equations that may include decimals, fractions, and negative numbers, the solution may not be so obvious. An important method for solving equations is doing the same thing to each side. For example, let's look at solving the equation -4 times the quantity of x minus 1 equals 24 by doing the same thing to each side. Another helpful tool for solving equations is to apply the distributive property. In the example, instead of multiplying each side by -1/4, you could apply the distributive property to -4 times the quantity of x minus 1 and replace it with -4x plus 4. Your solution will look just like this. Students will be working with inequalities. Inequalities are expressions with a greater than or a less than symbol instead of an equal sign. We use inequalities to describe a range of numbers. For example, in many places, you need to be at least 16 years old to be allowed to drive. We can represent this situation with the inequality A is greater than or equal to 16. We can show all the solutions to this inequality on a number line. Students will be working with equivalent expressions, expressions that are always equal for any value of the variable. For example, 2x plus 7 plus 4x and 6x plus 10 minus 3 are equivalent expressions. We can see that these expressions are equal when we try different values for x. We can also use properties of operations to see why these expressions have to be equivalent. They are each equivalent to the expression 6x plus 7.